I have a friend, his name is Louis, and we got together and he has some great envisioning stories, and this is Inspiro.
As a young ad man, I really needed to break into big advertising. And I got a brief by a huge company, Simba, on a Friday afternoon to say to me, if I can think of a product and a campaign for them by Monday morning, they will give me the account. Well, there was no way that we could produce an idea over the weekend. So I said to my staff, the only thing I can think of is that you all arrive on my farm on Sunday afternoon after you've had your weekend. It was a little unknown brand, but we had an opportunity to do something for a big company. Well, when the guys arrived, the cars started parking on the lawn. I had no idea what to do, but no idea. And I looked at them, and suddenly a picture dropped in front of my face, just like that, of the Knickknacks man, complete with his hat and his hair and his glasses and his big smile and his huge funny dress. I just took that picture in my mind and I walked up to the guys and I said, there is no way to do a script. There is no time to do a storyboard. There is no time to do anything. All we can really do is, one of us must dress up like that. So we decided to look for those big glasses, and we took my wife's wig and we took a big hat and we painted it and we made a big bow tie. And with that dressed up account executive, we waited for them at their boardroom on Monday morning. Well, they arrived. Sat down in my boardroom and said, Louis, what have you got to show us? And I said, well, there was very little time to do anything, but let us tell you what we've done. And suddenly the doors of my boardroom burst open and a guy came in dressed up like the Knickknacks man and said, hi everybody, I'm the Knickknacks man. And that birthed the Knickknacks campaign, which became Simba's biggest brand, by far its most profitable brand, just like that. As a young guy in advertising, I got a call from a man who called himself a minister, Minister Koornhof. Now, in advertising, you were never sure who called you for what reason, because we were playing the fool with each other all the time. Even walking into the bathroom was an unexpected journey, because something might happen in there. We were a bunch of mad people. So one day I got a call from a man who called himself Dr. Koornhof, cabinet minister nogal. Well, I've never spoken to a minister in my life. And his voice was easy to imitate. So I said, man, if you Dr. Koornhof, then surely I must be Jesus. But I soon realized that this man was serious. When he mentioned who recommended me, I realized, oh, this is not a prank. And this was his brief. The National Party of South Africa wants to renew themselves. They want a new image. They want the English voter to come into the picture. And they need somebody to come and revitalize, revision that party and its image. I looked at the old logo, which was a gunpowder horn, which came out of a voortrekker daar. It was an old-fashioned, ugly thing. And I realized that with that logo, I can't go anywhere. The presentation I made was in the house, in the home of the Prime Minister of that time, Mr. Foster. And the first thing I did was to take that old logo, walk up to a window, and throw it out of the window and said, this is where this thing belongs, in the past. You cannot go into the future with a logo like that. And I designed the logo with the NP, with the two arrows, and the slogan was, forward together. And they bought it immediately. I walked out of that thing so proud with all these works under my arms. And as I went to the door, I said, by the way, Dr. Koornhof, this is going to cost you X amount of money. And he said to me, Mr. Wilsnach, you do not understand. You don't charge that kind of money to the party. I said, Dr. Koornhof, this is my fee. If you don't want to pay it, then all this work is for nothing. I will take it away and you'll never see it again. 3 days later, he called me and said, Mr. Wilsnach, we'll pay you your fee, and the logo is much loved. That new logo, with the two arrows and the forward together, invited the English voter to join. And the rest is history. The National Party was a very powerful organization. But they never wanted to pay me what the worth of the job that I was doing for them. They always argued that they were so powerful and so influential that I must be happy to work for them. And it was always a big conflict between the two of us. And then one day, in 1982, they called me to say that now they've got a budget of 2 million rand. Imagine 2 million rand in 82. It's a lot of money for a young ad man. They've got a lot of money and a huge campaign to do. I had to sell South Africa in a referendum, the three-party parliament. They had to vote yes or no. I went away and prayed about it, and God said to me, that is the worst idea, and it will never even be remembered by anybody. So tell them not to do it. Tell them that the answer is not to allow the whites and the Indians and the colours into parliament, but to must make room for the blacks. So I went in there and told them that on the 10th of January 1982, I said, open the party. You're a national party. Become a national party. Include everybody. But don't do this thing. It will not even be remembered. There was a very dramatic moment in the presentation, because God said to me that once you've presented the idea that it's a bad idea and that they must open the national party and to become a national party, I must look the President P.W. Botha in the eye and said, Mr. President, if you do not follow this idea, you will be fired as the President of South Africa. Now, for people who know P.W. Botha, he was the great crocodile. You never spoken to him like that. Nobody's ever spoken to him like that. It was a frightening moment. And the whole cabinet, 52 members sitting there, was dead quiet. Obviously, I didn't get the account. The three-room parliament was built. It lasted for about 2-3 years. Nobody remembers it. It was a bad idea. President P.W. Botha lost his job, and the rest is history. And then one day, as I was contemplating, how and on earth are we going to save this land? God gave me 3 words. And he said, I'm going to give you 3 words, but you have to keep it absolutely to yourself. You are not going to mention it, not even to your wife. And for 6 years, I kept that word all to myself.
Louis, when you designed the Knickknacks Man and you designed the National Party's logo and the slogan to move forward, how did that come about?
Well, the Knickknacks Man was a gift. It just dropped down of the sky, this whole face, and it just represented, I saw in that picture, the representation of something that I had visioned in my heart. The National Party, I just took the 2 arrows. The 2 arrows was just so a normal way of showing that we are going to be together. And that's the way to do it, together, forward.